Okay, it's 3 o'clock. We do have a quorum. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mary, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Chief Newby,
Here.
Mr. Hoagie,
Here.
Mr. Clark,
Here.
Mr. Depp,
Here.
Ms. Hairston,
Here.
Ms. Hurd,
Here.
Ms. Jones,
Here.
Ms. Simpson, and Mr. Williamson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First item of business is approval of the minutes from May the 7th, 2013. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second.
Moved and second. Any discussion, corrections, or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Committee reports. Finance Committee, Adrian Hurd.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On May 21st, the Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held committee meeting, and as a result, there are 5 action items that are being recommended today on behalf of the Finance and Personnel Committee. The first item is action item number 2 concerning insurance brokerage services. The purpose of this procurement is to obtain a broker for all property and casualty insurance for the Greater Dayton RTA. Their insurance broker will administer the property and casualty risk management program. The lines of insurance RTA currently has in force include property, general liability, auto liability, auto physical damage, crime, excess liability, public officials and employment practices liability, property terrorism, faithful performance bond, workers' compensation, and felonious assault. Current premiums, including deductible payments, are expected to total approximately $1.85 million in 2013. The broker shall design and market such policies of insurance as may be required by RTA, including negotiation of rates and coverage. Mrs. Mary Stanford and Mr. Jim Napier provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in the board package today. Mary and/or Jim are available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based on the recommendation of the Personnel Finance Committee, I move to award a contract to Brower Insurance, a Marsh & McLennan agency for insurance broker services in the amount of $82,500 per year for base years 1 and 2 for a total of $165,000 plus 3 one-year options at $82,500 per year for a grand total amount of $412,500.
Okay, a motion by Adrian. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, was that Larry? Any discussion or questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Action item number 2 is approved.
Mr. Chairman, I have to abstain because I have a
That's
conflict.
correct, I'm sorry. We do have 1 abstention, the rest approvals. Okay, back to Adrian.
Okay, next is action item 3, which concerns the purchase of 2 F-550 dump trucks. The purpose of this procurement is to purchase 2 dump trucks to be used in support of fleet and buildings and grounds operations. These vehicles are replacement vehicles. The vendor is required to provide the vehicles in accordance with the required specifications. These vehicles are 1.5-ton cab and chassis vehicles at 19,500 pounds gross vehicle weight. The state of Ohio competitively bids many items which public entities may purchase without going through additional competitive procedures. It's called the Cooperative Purchasing Program. These recommended vehicles are on the state contract list. State pricing was obtained from the vendor that holds the state of Ohio contract for this particular vehicle, which is Valley Ford Truck of Cleveland, Ohio. Mr. Tom Hodge provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and supporting information is included in our board package. Tom is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based on the recommendation of the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move to award a contract to Valley Ford Truck Incorporated for 2 Ford F-550 dump trucks to be utilized as support vehicles for fleet and buildings and grounds maintenance for a grand total of $113,926,000.
Okay, do we have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Edward. Any discussion or questions on the motion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The fourth action item concerns life and disability insurance. The purpose of this procurement is to obtain coverage for life insurance and long-term disability insurance for full-time, non-union employees, full-time hourly employees represented by the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, and full-time employees represented by the Amalgamated Transit Union. RTA will purchase term life insurance for all full-time employees, and the employees also have the option of purchasing additional coverage at their own expense. The long-term disability coverage provides a minimum benefit of $50 up to a maximum benefit of $5,000 per month to all eligible full-time employees. This long-term disability coverage is contributory and is an optional benefit. Employees choosing this benefit will contribute 40% of the monthly premium cost. This is the first time that this coverage has been expanded to include all of the work groups. Mr. Gene Rose provided a detailed explanation at our committee meeting, and supporting information is included in your board package. Gene is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based on the recommendations of the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move to award a contract to Minnesota Life Insurance Company for a 3-year period for life insurance at an estimated grand total of $315,234, and to Lincoln Financial Group for a 3-year period for long-term disability insurance at an estimated grand total of $598,656 based on the current census plus vacancies.
Okay, motion by Adrian. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Sharon. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Action item number 4 is approved.
Okay, action item number 5 concerns the determination of active versus inactive funds. Consistent with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 135, Greater Dayton RTA Board of Trustees must designate public depositories of active monies for the next 4-year period commencing on the date of expiration of the preceding period, such as August 26, 2013. This designation will occur at the August 6, 2013 board meeting based upon solicitation from eligible institutions. At least 60 days before this meeting, the RTA must notify all eligible institutions that might desire to be designated as such public depositories of the date on which the designations are to be made, the date fixed as the last date on which applications may be submitted, and the amount that has been estimated to be available for deposit as active monies, an amount of public monies in public depositories determined to be necessary to meet current demands at any one time during the next 4-year period. The balance of funds or inactive monies will be invested per the RTA Board Policy Number 9, Investments. Mrs. Stanforth provided an explanation at our committee meeting, and the supporting information is included in your board package. Mary is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Based on the recommendations from the Finance and Personnel Committee, I move to approve Resolution Number 2013-5-1, which sets forth the amount of active and inactive funds available for investment by the RTA during the next Uniform Depository Agreement term, which is August 26, 2013 through August 26, 2017.
Okay, motion by Adrian. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Janet. Any questions on the motion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Now, action item 6, the 2000 concerns acceptance of the 2012 audit report. The 2012 financial statement audit was discussed in detail during executive session at the jointly held committee meeting. Mrs. Stanford presented the RTA year-end financial statements. Also, Mr. Mike Phillips, the senior audit manager for Charles E. Harris and Associates, presented the audit opinion to the committee. During the committee meeting, there were a few items that required follow-up. The 2012 financial statements at the dais today are intended to represent the final statements. The auditor's opinion states that the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects. Further, there are no management letter comments or findings. I move to approve the financial statements for the years ended December 31st, 2012 and 2011, and the audit report thereon. Furthermore, this motion will authorize the Secretary-Treasurer to transmit copies of the audit report to the appropriate federal, state, and local agencies and advertise in a newspaper of general circulation as required by the Ohio Revised Code, Section 117.38.
Okay, moved by Adrian. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by
Larry.
Larry.
Any discussion or questions on the motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think the record should indicate that the board, in carrying out its responsibilities, met in private with the auditors without management present, to allow the auditors to tell us anything, if they had, that they felt comfortable telling us in private without management being there. No items were reported under those circumstances.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, I believe we have some other items to bring up.
Yes, I had two items that I wanted to talk about. The first was the February 2013 actual sales tax. At the meeting, Mr. Robert Thomas stated that the receipts for the month of February 2013 totaled $2.86 million, an increase of 9.9% compared to February of 2012. Year-to-date receipts after 2 months are up 8.1% as compared to 2012. Sales tax trends continue to be very positive, with the majority of the increase related to non-motor vehicle sales. The second discussion item were the April 2013 financial results. Also at our meeting, Mr. Thomas reported that for April 2013, the net income after depreciation was $178,364 compared to a budget of $81,187. The April 2013 year-to-date net income after depreciation was $313,362 compared to a year-to-date budget of $290,641,000. The actual net income as compared to budget is developing very closely to the budgeted amounts. This is very positive news, as all retroactive payments related to the settlement of the Amalgamated Transit Union contract have been paid and recognized at this time. And that concludes my report.
Any questions or comments for Adrian? I would point out an article this morning that I'm sure most of you read in the Wall Street Journal about the new car sales, which may have something to do with the astounding results, I guess I'd say, on the sales tax that we've been getting this year. That we're having a banner year. Even some car companies where they normally have a downtime in the summertime are canceling that and working extra shifts and everything else. So since that's a big ticket item, when they start selling them, 10,000 more of those things, why it reflects itself very well in terms of our sales tax. Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Adrian. Next, the Planning Committee, Janet Jones.
Thank you. As stated earlier, the Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met on May 31st, and the Planning Committee would like to present one action item number 7. Mr. Eckler discussed the benefits of utilizing Google Transit software. It has been found that the use of Google Transit has been beneficial to transit customers utilizing trip planner modules. Over 250 transit agencies in the U.S. currently use the Google Transit software. There is no cost to the RTA for this service. However, Google Transit does require an indemnification provision from the user transit agency. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees recommend to the Board of Trustees that the Executive Director be authorized to enter contract negotiations with Google Transit with the stipulation that the Greater Dayton RTA indemnification obligation will not exceed $120,000 during the entire period of the agreement, and I so move.
I'll second.
Moved by Janice, seconded by Adrian. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do you have additional items to
Just a
cover?
couple of updates. Mr. Eckler also announced that the RTA was once again a keynote sponsor for the annual I-70-75 Economic Development Summit that was held at Sinclair Community College. Mr. Eckler also reported that the RTA provided shuttle service for the annual Hamvention event held at Hare Arena. And as far as marketing, Ms. Pritchard provided an update on upcoming marketing events, such as the Five Rivers Metro Parks Bike to Ride event and the Huber Heights Community Open House event. And this concludes my report. We will answer any questions that anyone may have.
Any questions for Janet?
No, but I think it would be beneficial if Mark, with regard to the Hamvention, the wonderful email that we received from an individual from Ireland. Mark, would you?
I'd be happy to. We had a gentleman who traveled from Ireland to be here for the event and commented in his email that of all his travels around the world, he found our transit system to be the friendliest, the most helpful, and he rode, I can't remember how many different routes, Frank. It sounded like he traveled the whole community while he was here. But I felt that was high praise coming from a European who's been apparently all over the world, and it was just a thrill to get that kind of news back. It's great.
Thank you, Franz. Anything else?
Nothing else.
Thank you, Janet. Okay. You still have the floor, Mark. Executive Director's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple items of note. I've been spending some time in Columbus lately, and apparently not enough. Last week, an amendment was attached to the Senate version of the state budget, which some action was being taken on today, we think, regarding what we feel is the Beaver Creek issue, and it was an amendment that had no public or private discussion, for that matter, that I'm aware of, with the interested parties. And it's pretty general, vague language that I think would most certainly cause the potential for some litigation, and in our mind, even maybe a further look by the federal government into the issue that's at hand and we're awaiting a decision on, simply because by inaction, a community, could prohibit an entity like ours from expanding or establishing service or making an improvement. It could be adding a bus shelter in a community where there's already service. So there's been a lot of statewide emphasis on it. I've communicated personally on behalf of our state association to the entire Senate. I've gotten a couple positive responses back from senators that they were going to look into this. We hope it'll be removed before the Senate version of the bill moves forward into the conference committee. But I think there could be some difficulty there. So it's something we'll continue to work on, and we will keep you updated certainly on that. At the same time, we believe that the issue regarding K through 5 students riding public transportation has been removed from the bill. And there's another piece that we're not sure if it's in or out yet, and it was a proposal by Senator Patton to provide all veterans and active duty military personnel free rides on public transit anywhere in the state of Ohio. We certainly support that, but we really feel that's something that should be funded as well. In the current scenario, the ODOT budget is no change over the prior biennium for state funds coming to public transit. we see this as probably a $12 to $15 million loss for systems because we have, I think close to 900,000 veterans alone. That doesn't include active duty military in the state. And we have quite a few folks that use our various systems. So we support the concept, but we don't want it to become another unfunded mandate. And we're hopeful that that will be taken care of in the conference committee. So it's a busy time at the state level. As I said, the numbers remain unchanged, so they're not positive. You know, we took a big cut under the current administration, and we're hoping someday to see those numbers improve. But that's where we're at. We'll continue to push, and we'll work through the conference committee, and I'll be there as often as I need to be, hopefully to have a positive impact. So to end on a positive note, can anyone tell me why this Thursday is so important?
The safety day.
Oh, yes,
The safety day or?
from 9 to 2.
Thank you, Janet.
Oh, do I win some?
You
Oh,
win something. What is it?
Thank you.
Napier is so silent. It's RTA Safety Day. This Thursday, I brought some show and tell stuff. It's a huge day for us. Obviously, safety is the most important thing for us in everything we do. And every year we celebrate that on Safety Day. Most important and nearest and dearest to my heart will be the induction of 4 new people into our Million Mile Club. So if you get an opportunity, anytime between the hours of 9 and 2 on Thursday, come on by. There'll be lots of safety awards being given out to individual operators. There'll be other events. And there'll even be a dunk tank with a variety of some of your favorite people. It's a fundraising activity. So if you come at the right time, you'll get a chance to make your favorite management team member, I guess, become soaking wet if they weren't already. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And especially the Million Mile Club members. When you think about what it takes to operate 1 million accident-free miles in a bus with all the challenges they face every day, it's a huge, huge moment. So we're hoping their families will be with them when we make those presentations. I think those are going to be around noon for the Million Mile Club folks. And we're hoping to keep me dry up until that point for the purpose of the photographs. It will be at Longworth. It'll be at the Longworth campus, so please come by if you get a chance. We're excited about it, and that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mark?
Yes, I want to know what time he'll be in the dunking booth, because that's how I want to schedule my day.
The arranger, I'm looking at the arranger. It's shortly after the photo session. Is that correct? So between noon and 1, it sounds like.
Okay.
But bring cash.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Thank you. Old business, I have none. Do you have any, Mark?
I do not.
New business, there's nothing to be added. Do we have any public comments today?
No, sir.
I'm sorry, did you say no, sir?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. Board member comments or announcements? Did you want to mention?
Yes, I will. A week from Thursday, on Thursday, June the 13th at 7:30, there will be a presentation dealing with the impact of the flood on the railway system 100 years ago. I attended, and this is done by the Dayton Railroad Historical Society. I've attended several of their presentations when it dealt with buses and trolleys, and they're really amazing with the amount of information that is there. So I would think it'd be a wonderful presentation in light of the 100-year flood, and I invite you all to attend. It's all at the Patterson House, which is right on Brown Street, right across the street from the Pine Club, the old mansion there. Starts at 7:30. And also I want to thank Harvey for mentioning in Ties and Tracks, which is the Dayton Railroad Historical Society, the fact that the board approved at one of its prior meetings our authorization to enter into contracts for the new dual-mode trolley bus fleet. So that's getting recognition through a lot of different people. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, executive session, I know of no need. Do you have anything that's come up since our last meetings?
No, sir.
Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Sharon,
Second.
seconded by Edward. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We stand adjourned.